Hey, Travel Brats. Happy Tuesday. It's Soph.
And Aaron.
Coming to you live from the studio. Guys, we're pumped. We're back. You guys know the series. It's SWFL Food Junkie, Best Eats with the Travel Brats. And I can't believe we're already in June. And June's a hefty month. We got a lot going on.
We're halfway there. We're halfway through the year.
I know. It's it's a bit crazy to think about. But guys, if you don't know the random days and themes of June, obviously we have Father's Day. Then we've also, oddly enough, got National Moonshine Day, which is June 2nd. June 16th is National Fudge Day. These are not in order. June 20th is ice cream soda day. June 25th is National Catfish Day. Then we got the first Friday in June, which is Donut Day. I told you these weren't in order. And then June 15th, Lobster Day. And June 19th is Martini Day. So, yes.
Yeah,
there's that.
Jam-packed.
Jam-packed. But let's start with Father's Day. We'll do like a hot place for lunch, brunch, and dinner for Daddy's Day.
Yeah. And it's always funny with Father's Day because you never know, like, you know, it's what kind of Father's Day do you want to go for? You know, it's just like
depends on what kind of father you have.
Yeah. So you got that either the father's like, yeah, I want to go fishing on the pier and then grab a beer or
yeah, exactly. I mean, I know my dad, which is funny because this is the first, I think, restaurant you thought of in this particular month section. But like my dad, so totally obsessed with barbecue. Like we had barbecue for my rehearsal dinner, and he, like, my dad likes fancy food, so I forgot how much he liked barbecue. He's sitting there eating Mission barbecue, and he's like having the time of his life. So for my dad, going to lunch on Father's Day and having barbecue would be like a dream.
I think barbecue is like the great equalizer, right? Because like you talk to a barbecue nerd, and I'm not that much, but like, oh, the time that goes into it and the stoking of the fire, and I'm like, I just like barbecued meat, but I mean, I'll do that too. So everyone gets enjoyment. Like, you get your hands dirty. It's delicious, and it's a good cut of meat, and you can really like it. And I really like Industry Barbecue Naples. I've only actually been by there once, but it's delicious. Probably one of my go-to barbecue spots in that area. Plus, they have By the Slice Pizza too. So, they're same owners or partner owners with Lowbrow Pizza.
Okay.
Yeah. So they've got a different style of pizza, but it's a lowbrow recipe.
Now, they don't put any barbecue on their pizza, do they?
Oh, I don't know, but I bet you if you wanted a barbecue chicken pizza, they probably would have something close to that. Like, I wouldn't say no.
I could see that being pretty tasty.
Yeah, I mean, if you put some brisket on a pizza, I wouldn't say no to that either. Like, that just sounds like
brisket.
Or make a brisket sandwich with 2 slices of pizza.
Yeah, all I really care about when I go to barbecue places, besides, I mean, if you do a general barbecue place, pulled pork, but like if they have brisket and they're a really good barbecue place.
And they've got some great taps as well, so the different beers you can grab with your dad if you're, in between. So it's kind of it's a cool spot to go and have an in between, like for a good like lunch spot. It's nothing too crazy casual. So if you're looking to be away from the crowd that's going nuts for like an appointment or a reservation, I think it's it's a solid choice.
Totally, yeah. And then, so brunch. For brunch, I may have gotten a little too girly. This is maybe a Mother's Day spot, but I just love the Sweet Bean Cafe in Fort Myers. It's so cute, and the food is honestly great. Like, if men, you tell me if men like it, but my husband loves it.
Oh, no, I've been there a couple times. It's kind of off the beaten path, too. Like, I think a lot of people forget about it, and like, oh, yeah, because this plaza's kind of unassuming. Next, isn't there
the melting pot is right there.
Yeah,
and that's kind of like the chain everybody knows.
Isn't there a breakfast place in there? Isn't there First Watch or something?
There's another. I think First Watch is in there too. Yeah. There's like a First Watch there, and I think there's like a coffee shop or another shop right next door that's also like either breakfast or lunch. But I love it. I always between like Reuben, and they have really good like tomato soup. Yeah. And then I just recently had breakfast there, and the breakfast is actually really good. I've never had breakfast there.
Yeah, their sandwiches, their breakfast, their coffees are really good. Like, and it's kind of quiet. It's not your typical coffee shop that you think of, like something like Starbucks, for example. You don't walk in there for a coffee and walk out. It's a place you do kind of want to sit down. It's got really good ambiance. And
I love the toffee coffee. They have toffee coffee there, and it's so good. And they put like whipped cream on top. It's basically like dessert. But they also like you said, the ambiance. They have like chandeliers and then little records on the wall and like fun like velvety couches and old Chinese lamps. It's really cool.
That's what makes it perfect for brunch. Cause it's more of like a sit down than like a get in and get out type of like quick deal.
Yeah. And then the other one I guess we both know and love, and we throw this out all the time, would be Fancy's.
Oh yeah, I mean you can never. It's one of those places. So funny. I think it gets left out a lot, but at the end of the day, it's the best overall around because it's not quite fancy, but not quite plain. Right. And the food options are always so well done. The price point is on par. Yeah. And the quantity is like out of this world. Like, if you want to get a little bougie / fill your belly. Fancy's has all of it. I mean, I always talk about chicken and waffles. It's freaking like, it's so tall it falls over if you don't catch it.
Yeah,
but
I'm so fat there. I will get the chicken. If you get the fried chicken, so like you get the chicken and waffles, but I get the fried chicken, and it comes with 2 giant pieces of fried chicken, and then you can pick your sides. Okay, I'm so bad. I get macaroni and cheese, and then the sweet potato fries because you dip them in that like melted brown sugar dip.
Oh yeah,
oh,
that does sound good.
So it's like carbs, more carbs than fried chicken.
And I haven't had it. My friend would get it religiously, but the meatloaf. And I think meatloaf can be like, so the conversation I had recently with my friends, super underrated. Like such a diverse thing, but everyone's like, oh, it's just meatloaf. Like you think of it as like this really kind of plain or thing that nobody wants, but it can be done really well.
I was gonna say some people love meatloaf. For me, it's like I get it. I like it at other people's houses. I've never really ordered it at a restaurant. Now I kind of want to try it at Fancy's.
Yeah,
see if it's good.
I gotta go back and try that because I'm so religiously driven to the chicken and waffles. Yeah, I'm like it's a
well, it's like by the time you get your butt back there, you just want to order your favorite thing.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh, I'm so excited. I've been thinking about chicken and waffles all day or all week or whatever. Yeah, I mean, and speaking of, because that can be dinner food too. I mean, all Fancy's goes through dinner, and they used to do really nice, like they have a bar side and a cocktail hour, and they used to have live music. It changed a little with COVID. They used to have like the fancy little chairs to sit around tables with, and then they turned them into like actual like seating tables. Yeah. But I don't know, and they may change it back at some point. But speaking of, they go into dinner, and then some good dinner spots for dads would probably be like your classic steakhouses and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, what dad doesn't like a classic steak?
Yeah.
Or you can get anything. And like Fleming's, Fleming's a local brand, I believe. I honestly don't know, to be honest with you. Like Fleming's and Capital Grill both are kind of a really good spot. I would call them a middle end steakhouse, like not quite Ruth Chris, but still have really good quality. Like much better than not putting any shade on Connors or Outback, but like you're gonna get a better quality steak.
Oh, they're much high. Yeah,
and a nicer sit down dinner with dad and the family at a Fleming's or a Capital Grill, and they have a slew of other things, and plus like those are also like on a low key note, like great options for bargain brunches. Like, Fleming's has a great brunch option with pricing if you can get in there on a Sunday with dad.
That's a really good idea, actually, a brunch. And then I do know I've been to the Capital Grill, and it was really good, but my story ended badly.
Oh no! I like Capital Grill, but I have heard only recently that it is not quite as good as it used to be.
Maybe.
But a lot of that can be, I mean, unfortunately, COVID and recent laws passing with different ethnicities and stuff, like there's not as much need and there's not as much people. So like people having, in Naples especially, a lot of restaurants are now doing the closing for like 3 o'clock till 5. I've seen that
everywhere. In fact, up here, not with nicer restaurants in our area, like Estero, but I've seen it with like a lot of like, really popular, if you want to call them fast food joints or more upscale fast food, like Chipotle and Panera. Like one time I wanted to go have what's it called? Oh, Panda Express. So I go to the Panda Express and it's closed. And it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So then I was like, I'll go to next door to Payway. And I go to Payway, and then Payway's closed at 2 o'clock. So then I'm really hungry and I'm refusing to go to the store and cook something. So then I go to Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is closed.
Oh no.
Because it's a Sunday.
Oh,
I got you. And then I drove across the street to Chipotle because they're all right there. And Chipotle was closed. It closed at like, because by this time I've been driving around for like 30 minutes. It's closed at 4. So at this point, it's just like, is anything open right now?
Yeah.
I guess I'm going to have to go to like dinner or like eat a protein cookie for dinner.
This weekend I literally had the exact same thing. I was in Naples. I was at Coastland Mall and I wanted ramen, and the 2 ramen places I hit up, it was 2:30. They both closed at 3. And then I wanted to go to, not throwing shade, but Lake Park Diner has a new brand of Chinese restaurant called PJK's, and everybody's been raving about it, and they close at 3 o'clock too. So I'm like, 3 restaurants in the greater Naples area that, and 2 of them I can understand, but I couldn't understand PJK's. But then I talked to a friend just yesterday, and she was like, oh, you haven't heard, like, they're brand new. The staffing is almost impossible right now. Like they literally cannot get people, so they kind of have to close.
Build the robots.
It's so sad. So yeah, I went to another place in Naples. I mean, it's not dad related, but like Yokosan ramen, and it's delicious. Really? And they're like the only. So like shout out to this. Like I don't know if anybody's crazy about Korean corn dogs right now, but they're like the only place in Southwest Florida that I've seen a Korean corn dog.
Yeah, I've never had one.
Yeah, they're all popping up on social media right now, but it's like the thing.
That's pretty cool. I like that. I'll have to go have a Korean corn dog in Naples.
Yeah, so we're going to segue over to Asian food. Like Asian food definitely is a good option too for Father's Day, and Saigon Paris is kind of a cool option because You can get delicious pho, or if you're looking for more other delicious options that are in that range Vietnamese wise, but they also have an entire French menu.
Yeah.
So you can have a more sit down like escargot or whatever you're looking for. I mean, it's kind of unassuming because you walk in, you're like, huh, this looks like it's not in like the best plaza. The plaza's old, but the restaurant's nice. And
yeah, that's what we had talked about that in a previous episode, where it literally looks like kind of a dump on the outside, and then it's like really good food.
It has to have been there for 10 plus years. I mean, I don't know exactly when they opened, but as long as I've lived here, it's been here.
Just needs a wee bit refurbishment. But yeah, the food is phenomenal. Actually, speaking of Father's Day, we took my husband's dad here last year for Father's Day because it's his favorite restaurant. And I got like an Asian dish, and it was really tasty. I mean, they did it really well. It was cooked really well. Yeah. So I like that. And then, I mean, my other favorite, I always talk about it. We had our engagement dinner here, and it was the first time I tried it. But we go back there every time we want like nice Italian dinners, DeRomo's.
Oh yeah.
And Bonita, and like I just love the whole ambiance too. The food, the pasta. I don't know if I could ever get anything but pasta there. I've heard that all the other stuff is amazing, but the pasta there. If you get like a nice glass of Chianti and like the pasta, and then you do their desserts, like their tiramisu and stuff, so good.
It's another one of those places like I think sometimes people forget about it. It's like like glossed over, but you go in there for lunch. They have amazing lunch specials too, and they have a coffee bar. And you're like, oh, this doesn't look so fancy, but you're right. When you go in for dinner, you're like, this is a whole different vibe. And it's a whole different menu, and it's like it's really nice, and it's got any range, anywhere from like, hey, I just want to have like a classic entree. It's anywhere from $18 to $25 to like a decent cut of steak or a really nice gnocchi. And that's 35 plus, so it's got a good range of food, and it's always good quality.
Well, yeah, and that's a really good point, because you can go there and you can get like a very nice steak, or meat or fish that's more pricey, or you can go get like a pasta. Their pastas are a little like less expensive, and that's a good option for everybody. People that are watching their wallets a little more, and people that want to splurge a little more. Like we did our engagement dinner there, but we also did my birthday dinner there this year because I love it, and it was so much fun. And we sat I love the outdoor seating, because Florida in the wintertime, my birthday's in January, so it's so nice outside at night with the breeze. Yes, and they like string all the lights up, so it's a very, I mean, obviously you're like, okay, get romantic with my dad, ? But it's a fun group place. Like I've been there with groups, and like if you go there with your whole family for Father's Day, dad and all his kids and family members, it's a good spot.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like you can dress up in like in nice attire, or you can kind of dress down.
Yeah.
The beauty, I say this all the time, the beauty of Southwest Florida is you could show up in a Tommy Bahama shirt and shorts and still look casual.
Yeah, I know.
Most other places, like you go to Orlando or Miami, that would not be appropriate. But in Southwest Florida, we have the benefit of that.
Yeah, but nobody cares. It's so nice. And then, okay, so Lobster Day.
Lobster, yeah. So there's a bunch of places for lobster, honestly. But whenever somebody asks me about lobster, I'm like, you gotta think about a lobster roll, right? Like that's, to me, it's kind of fast, it's easy, it's delicious, and you get just enough lobster, you're okay with it, and it doesn't break the bank. But not too much lobster, you're like, okay, now it's getting expensive. But I really like Main Shack, which is like it's a food truck, but it's at Celebration Park in Naples. Fun.
Yeah, we've talked about Celebration Park Brats. If you guys are in this area, it's this fun food truck area where there's all these food trucks and music, and then a bar at the end, and it's just a really cool vibe. It's on the river. Yeah. It's really fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the other one that's really great if you're in the Fort Myers side of the town is Mason's Lobster. And they're a chain, but they've got pretty good lobster rolls, and they got a plethora. So if you're getting anywhere from like the Connecticut roll to a traditional roll, if you're looking, if you're specific about the type you want. I mean, but just like bear in mind, everyone goes, oh, it's expensive. If you're paying less than $25 for a lobster roll, that's pretty much what it is. Like you don't expect to pay less than $25.
Right.
And everyone's like, oh, but it's so small. It's like 5 to 6 ounces. I'm like, well, lobster, unfortunately, is expensive. So
yeah, that's what it is. It's so good though.
Yeah.
I mean, what's funny though is lobster has never been my favorite food in general, but like my favorite, like I love seafood.
Yeah.
But lobster's never been my favorite. But I did have, and this was at my brother's wedding in Estes Park. We went to the hotel where they filmed The Shining.
Oh, wow.
So that's up in Estes Park. And we went to the whiskey bar there for dinner, and I had lobster and lamb, and like lobster bisque and lamb, and the lobster bisque, randomly enough, at the Stanley Hotel in the middle of the mountains in Colorado, was some of the best lobster I've ever had.
Oh, wow.
And then the lamb was too. Colorado lamb is good. But like the lobster, I was really surprised by that. I was kind of like, should I really get lobster bisque up here? But I really like lobster bisque. It's probably going to taste kind of okay, but whatever. And it was amazing. And it was a random whiskey bar. And the food was, like, phenomenal. Anyway, that's, like, such a random highlight. We're doing a separate episode on Estes Park. But I was very impressed by the lobster. It's so funny because you go to places like Colorado and some of, like, the nice cities there. And I have family members that are like, don't take me to eat sushi up here. You know, like, why would I eat sushi in Boulder? Because this is the best sushi you ever want to have.
Well, you know, it's funny you say that because I constantly, that is probably the most unknown thing or under assumed or educated thing. Oh, sushi must be fresh because I'm by the water. Almost no, not all, but almost all sushi is flash frozen and shipped. So it doesn't matter whether you're in Florida sitting on the coast or whether you're in the middle of the country in Montana.
Yep.
Like, you're getting the same. Now, how early you get it, and, you know, when they froze it, that's different. So it does depend, and the quality can depend. And even the largest producer of sushi, oddly enough, to the world that ships it, is a Korean company.
No way.
Yeah, not even Japanese.
I would never have guessed that.
But lobster's the same way. Lobster's shipped around the country. It's from Maine, and they ship them live out of this, like, farm in Maine, and they come to the factories from, like, in these coolers alive, and they cook them because the meat will, if they're dead already, the meat, like, it gets tougher.
Sometimes I see why vegetarians do what they do, and then other times I just must be me.
I know, poor guys. But yeah, lobster's good. Like, seafood in general is really good, and it doesn't really matter where you are in the country as long as you have a place that gets, like, legitimate suppliers for the stuff.
Cool. Yeah, that's the thing, is their sushi there is so fresh in Boulder. It's like at one of the restaurants. I'm trying not to get too off topic, but now I'm like sushi. But speaking of, because we talked about the whiskey bar, there is a whiskey bar in this particular area that you mentioned. Yeah,
Naples. So if you're looking, also, I mean, it kind of ties into Father's Day too, because if you want to have a good drink with Dad and maybe a cigar, you know, like, obviously we got cigar bar, but looking for a place with more whiskey options in Naples, particularly, is Ziggy D'Amico's. So Ziggy D'Amico's is out in Naples area, but they have a really good food menu and a great option of whiskeys. So, like, if you're a classic old-fashioned drinker, for example, that'd be a great place. I mean, we didn't really list this, but off the top of my head, the Beacon, which is over in downtown Fort Myers, which is the rooftop bar at Luminary. They also have a good complement of bourbons and whiskeys. Perfect for anybody who's looking for a nice, you know, day out with Dad, or you know, just an evening to have a good cocktail.
I honestly love that view too. If you guys go to the Luminary and you go to the Beacon, it's such a nice view of, like, the water and the city. I love it. Yeah. And then, well, now that we're on the subject of drinks, because, you know, everybody wants to go grab a beer with Dad or grab a cocktail with Dad and Mom, and I mean, we've mentioned these in previous episodes, so we don't have to spend too long. But I know the Vine Room in Chartreuse, we were talking about espresso martinis.
Oh, yeah, because Martini Day.
Yeah. Because Martini Day.
June 19th. Yeah, I feel like a martini has to be drank in a fancy establishment while you're dressed up to be fancy. Yeah, it's like, you wouldn't just go in jeans and a t-shirt to get a martini. You know, wouldn't look classy enough. But yeah, the Vine Room, the Vine Room has, like, that ambiance, plus the fact that, you know, I'm sure I haven't had their martinis, I'll admit, but I'm sure they can make a good one. And just like you were saying earlier, there's an espresso martini over at Chartreuse. And they really do it up. Like, every time I see it, I'm like, yo, they nailed that. Like, that's good. Another off the beaten path one for an espresso martini would be the Franklin Social in Naples.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And then Bartulia too.
Yeah.
In Naples.
I've actually not had their martinis either, but I've seen them, and I know that they do. Yeah, everyone talks about it, so I was like, I gotta get on that train. I gotta get out to Mercado. So shout out if you guys want to invite me over. I would love to do some content with you.
Yeah, shout out, guys. Me too. Welcome.
Yes.
And then we obviously have, again, previously recommended spots, but like 86th Room downtown Fort Myers. We got the Luminary. We mentioned Beacon at the Luminary. Downtown Coffee and Wine. Ruth Chris, Duffy's, Seaside, City Tavern if you're looking for more of a chill vibe. Yeah. And then a Lansdowne, more of a chill vibe too. And then obviously, guys, we recently did a couple months ago, or maybe that was May. It was Cinco de Mayo. We did margaritas. And there's a ton of spots for margaritas. And that was like Tacos and Tequila, Los Santo Tacos and Tequila, Felipe's, Tacos and Tequila, Cantina 109, and then Cabos Cantina Taco and Tequila Bar. So there's a ton of spots. Whether your dad likes whatever genre of eating.
We were talking about earlier, and now I can't, but the brand new place that recently opened, Rebecca's.
In
Naples by Celebration Park. So if you wanted to get, you know, some cocktails over there after you finished over at getting some lobster, that's a good option. And if you're not a cocktail person for Father's Day, there's also breweries, right? Like, if you are familiar with Southwest Florida, there's a plethora of breweries, but we'll just name them off real quick, just so you like have a good idea, because you want a more family Father's Day. Palm City and Fort Myers. You got Fort Myers Brewing in Fort Myers, Pony Bell also in Fort Myers, Riptide in Bonita and Naples.
You got Millennium downtown.
Millennium downtown Fort Myers. I will admit, that's my
least favorite.
Least favorite beer. Coolest venue.
I was gonna say they had karaoke there one night, and it was a blast.
Yeah, no,
it's a big venue.
Their events and their venue are amazing. Their beer, not my favorite, but not bad. Just not my favorite.
I agree with that.
Crazy Dingo, really cool, like day outing or evening outing, which is over in Fort Myers as well. I'm probably leaving out some in Naples. Oh gosh, Ceremony Brewing, Hop Size Brewing in Bonita, both those places, and they're right by Chartreuse, so you could even do like a trifecta if you wanted to. So and cool spot if you want to grab someone to go. Brookside Market in Naples is a cool, like, what would we call it, craft beer kind of spot where you can grab them and just bring them home if you wanted to. And they have all kinds of different breweries around Florida, around the country.
How fancy. Well, speaking of, since we've just kind of jumped into the subject of alcohol, there's a lot of local alcohols in Florida.
Yeah, I think this area in general, we start getting, you're right, I think they're undercover, and a lot of them you probably have had, not even known. I mean, the first one I would think is Rivy Gin. And Rivy Gin is relatively new. I would say I think it popped up in around the COVID time, like 2020, 2021. And you can find them at Hogfish Cherries. You can find them at Chartreuse. They do a number of different types of gins, and they use them in a lot of the espresso martinis and regular martinis that we just talked about. So they're really cool. Alligator Bay Rum is actually a local FGCU favorite because it's an alumni out in Punta Gorda. So that's a really cool one to check out. I don't know if you can get them. I know you can do distillery tours and get them there. I'm not sure what stores they're in. Wicked Dolphin is a rum that's in the area as well.
Stay there. I'm just making sure the camera's on you. What's up, Travel Brats?
Yeah, which is always is a good one option. You can get them in Total Wine for sure. I have to double check, but Fucklehead whiskey. I always have a weird one saying that. I have some friends who work with them, and they're over in Naples actually, and cool. they're pretty good. I'm trying to think. There's definitely others that I can't even think of at the moment, but those are cool ones.
Already.
Yeah, you probably seen them and not even noticed that you've seen them and that they're from this area. Oh, distilleries. There's Devil's Isle Distillery in Bonita, which is right next to Hop Size Brewing.
Okay.
And they're pretty cool. I don't know if they sell like bottled there, but you can go in and get cocktails and see their little distillery area. It's a cool, fun like date night or out with the family.
Cool.
More chill.
Yeah, those are fun. I mean, gosh, there's so many places here to go out, and it's like whether you live in Estero, Fort Myers, Naples, Bonita Springs. If you want to go far, you can go far. If you want to go close, you can go close.
Yeah.
And then I would say the last thing that we wanted to close with, because obviously we love a good National Donut Day, is donuts. Guys, if you don't like donuts, don't talk to me. I don't know what to say to you.
What we said is first Friday of June, right?
First Friday of June.
First Friday of June. Yeah, is Donut Station. I like Donut Station. They've been 2 years, I think, or so in the area. And I know they've had a couple of hiccups of people who've had them before, but they're finally like kind of fully open, and they do delivery now through DoorDash and Grubhub, so you can order through the app. They should be in store as well, because before they had limited hours due to supply. But they're delicious, and they have really good like artisan style donuts. And then for anybody who's just looking for a really solid all around donut, especially if you're looking for good Boston cream, Trackside Donuts, which is in Bonita, and like I've probably said it before, but the terminology for anyone local is like it's Crackside, because they're so good. And it's like crack because you just want to eat more of them. And it's this like tiny, unassuming little red building on the corner of Bonita Beach Road and 41, or 41 Bonita Road. And they're only open till like noon, because they sell out by noon almost every single time. Like we open like 5 a.m. and sell out by noon.
Those are the best places. There's a place back home in, I would say Atlanta, if you guys don't know Georgia, but it's like outside of Atlanta. It's called Dutch Monkey Donuts, and like you go at like 12 o'clock, and they only have 2-3 flavors left.
Oh wow!
And they open normal, so they go so quick. It's amazing. So you have to get up at like 7 in the morning and be like, let's go, let's drive 25 minutes, 30 minutes down there and grab them. Those are the best kinds of spots, hole in the walls.
Yeah, you can't pass it up. And like I know everyone's like, oh, it's not the cleanest looking spot. I'm like, it's pretty clean, and the donuts are delicious, and you can't beat that value. I mean, they have bear claws that are literally as big as your face. So you can't pass that up either.
I love donuts. Donuts are like my weakness. Everybody's got their one sweet that they like the most.
Yeah.
Mine is like, cookies, cupcakes, cake, donuts. Yeah, I love donuts. Oh, so good. Well, Travel Brats, we hope that we made your mouth water, and we hope that hopefully you're having some sort of meal coming up here. But you guys check out our other episodes. If you like Aaron, you can find him on Southwest Florida Food Junkie all over his socials. And if you haven't liked and reviewed this series and left a review, guys, go leave us a Google review. We love you so much, and let us know what you want to hear about. Catch you next time. Thanks, Aaron.
No problem.